Hi, and welcome to another tutorial for Unity character customization. In this video, I'll be showcasing the compatibility with character customization and Customizable Survivor Packs by Ida Faber. As usual, make sure that you are on a Unity version that supports both character customization and the character that you're trying to import and use, so have the latest for those. Grab the latest character customization, make sure that you're updated to the latest version, import it. If it's a new Unity version, you're going to want to do it with Package Manager instead of the Unity Asset Store. Do the same with the character. Once both of those are in the scene, we'll look at character customization. And the first thing we need to do is add the existing scenes into the build settings. We want to do this so that we can test to make sure that everything is working immediately before switching to a different character. The scenes that we want are game, gender, male, and female. Now that we've added those, we can hit play. Initially, you won't have a character because you don't have a save, so we can go Customize, Male, Build Kyle, hit Save, hit Done. Now we have Kyle in the scene. Now what we want to do is we want to replace Kyle with the male character from the Survival Pack. So if we look at the Survival Pack, and we look at Survival Male, I should point out that this will also work separately if you were to purchase just the Survival Man or just the Survival Girl. And what we'll have is a variety of different variants. Now, with these variants, you can put them into your game and they will work. But if you want to mix them in different ways, or change them at runtime, that's where you'd want to use character customization. Change a hat. Use a hat from one variant that another variant doesn't have. Well, you can do that with character customization. So the first thing we want to do is make a new character base. Instead of Kyle, we want to do a base for the Survival Male. So we'll make a new scene. It can be just empty. What we want to do is we want to drag one of our variants into the scene. I want to use 5 because it has a hat, sunglasses, vest and shirt, so it'll be a nice variety for us. The first thing we want to do is we want to unpack the prefab completely. We have a tool to create our base, so we'll go to Character Customization, Prefab Generator. And here we'll reference our full character, and for the root, it's conveniently named root. Now, there are some differences between this character and other characters that I've covered in videos, and that's because there are blend shapes here. And blend shapes are something to be weary of. In this case, it's just an empty transform game object, but it's going to have the same name, and it's going to show up in different pieces. So what we want to do is we want to remove them where we do not need them. So when we create the base, we don't actually need any skin mesh renders because those will be added and removed into the base. So we can actually delete all of these and then go ahead and create generate base character. And it'll generate into the generated assets folder in character customization. So now we have the base. Similarly, we can delete this. We look at the base, and the base has an animator, and this character builder script is going to get added with male set if it's male, or female if you did the check mark here for female. Now, in addition, what we want to do is we want to specify a controller, and there's an example male and female controller. We'll specify the male here. That'll come in handy later to make sure that things are set up properly in animating. Now that we have the base finished, we can do the same thing, redrag variant 5, unpack it again completely, and now we can create pieces. So again, the full character, again, the root. Now what's different here is we want to generate a different piece for each of these different skin mesh renders. The first thing we need to do is we can remove the animator because we don't need it for the pieces. The other thing we want to do is we want to remove these empty blend shapes. The reason we want to delete these, they're unique to this character, and we're going to end up with duplicate children with the same name. We don't want that. So now we can see that everything is supposed to each of the children components should have its own skin mesh render. Verifying that that's all correct. Now we should be able to go and generate pieces again for the male. Now the pieces got generated. We no longer need this anymore. We can close this for now. Now what we want to do is we have an old base. The old base for Kyle, we can rename it to old. Now we can take the new base for the survival male and drag it into the prefab sections for organization. Now for all these other pieces that we generated, we can create a new folder. Do it in character customization, doesn't matter too much where we do it. We'll call it male pieces. Maybe survival male pieces. You can call it whatever you'd like. And now these generated assets can be moved into the male pieces. You'll want to organize them in your project as you see fit. Now each of these pieces corresponds with a corresponding render, like the beard, the glasses, and so on. We also need to create data for these pieces. One other thing we want to do is we want to create some skin pieces, because the way this character is set up, it doesn't have all the skin with variant 5, and the closest variant that actually has all the skin is this full nude variant. So we're going to drag it into the scene. We're also going to go and unpack it completely, and we're also going to get rid of this blend shape. And we can also get rid of this animator. Now what we want to do is we want to create a piece that's just for all this skin, because if we're missing any skin and we take off a shirt or take off pants, we're going to have some invisibilities, and the female doesn't have an option for skin everywhere, so there always needs to be some clothing so that you don't have invisible parts. And this is going to vary between character to character and different creators and maybe the artist on your team and their setup. So just bear that in mind. Again, we're going to drag this in, the full character, the root, and make sure that, so this is the skin mesh render for the head here, and this one is for all the rest of the body skin. And we're going to go and we're going to generate pieces one more time. Now again, these pieces also got generated into the generated assets folder. We can drag over the full body to have there. Now for the head, we already have a head. This head with hair and this one bald. And we can't have two pieces, same name, so we can call this one bald. Now we can drag it in to the same folder, and that'll be how we reference it. Now let's go ahead and actually make the corresponding data for all of this. Over in character customization, in resources, what we have is we have outfit models for the male. Each outfit model is a scriptable object, and you can specify things like the name. So we can call this survival M head. Then you can specify the icon. You can generate it. Somebody on your team can create the corresponding icon. We can stick with Kyle for now because that's just what's going to show up in the icon. The category, and this part here, outfit pieces, this is what matters because it's now referencing Kyle's head piece, and we want it to reference this new male head. So we can have it reference the head that is bald. Now we can take another one of the existing outfit objects, and this is Kyle body, and we could rename it to survival M body. There were two pieces here, but we only have a single piece because it's a one piece. So going back over here, this is going to be body full. And we're going to go through and configure all of these. Now in the case of the arms, we don't actually have arms like Kyle, but what we have is different kinds of shirts that we can select. So we can do, for example, survival M shirt. Now of course you want to call these something nicer so that they appear nicer. And keep in mind that the outfit name is what's visible to players, and the name of the scriptable object is just for your organization and for your own use. Now let's go find a shirt. There's this t-shirt object that'll work nicely, and it's just the one. So again, you can specify different things in outfit pieces if you wanted, for example, the hat and sunglasses to be considered one outfit and not be removed separately but together, then you could put them in this list. Or for example, you had gloves that both come on and off and you wanted the right glove and the left glove at the same time. So again, that's all fine. We're just going to go through. So instead of legs, we have pants. Survival and pants. Dragging the pants. Again, specifying just the one. Now we don't have a second body, so what we can do is we can actually delete this object altogether. Now keep in mind, this is going to affect the matrix. The matrix is optional, but once you delete a piece, like a single entry, it's going to shift everything, right? We'll dock the matrix because it's going to come in handy later on. Now, I'm going to go and delete the second body because we don't need it. Now we have an arms too. That'll correspond with our vest. It's just the one. Survival and vest. And for legs too, we don't have another set of pants, but we do have shoes. And we can put them together. Ideally, it would eventually be a separate category for shoes versus pants, but, you know. Shoes. So just like that, we went through all the existing outfits. Now let's take a look if we want to add anything else. And one thing we can do is we can add something like maybe the hat. And we don't have a category for the hat, or we can make it part of head, for example. But what we need to do is we need to create a new scriptable object, outfit scriptable object. This is how we create a new outfit. Outfit, we'll call it 7, hat, 0, 1. Again, you can call these whatever you want. You see the matrix updating and all that stuff. We'll call it hat. We need to give it an icon. It can really be anything, but let's just select this. Now we need to specify the category. We'll specify category 0, so the hat will be with the head. For now, we can adjust this later. And then we need pieces. And for pieces, we gotta find the hat. Hat 3. So this is an example of creating a brand new outfit scriptable object. Now, let's go over into our categories. And categories have defaults. Initially, we'll turn off all of these because defaults will enforce certain things to immediately equip, and that can cause some confusion for us, which we don't initially want. So we can create defaults later, and you can look at the documentation and see how that's all happening. And then over in the matrix, we're seeing that everything is turned off, which is good. In fact, we can go and close the matrix. So we don't want anything colliding right now. We're still just setting it all up. Now, for the scene, we don't need anything else here. We basically have the base character, we have the visual pieces, and now we have these corresponding outfit data for them. Also, might be worth renaming the category head. Body can stay, but instead of arms, we can do shirts. And legs can stay legs. Alright, now we can go over into the game scene. Don't save changes to this because this was just a temporary scene we had in a different location, just so we're making changes and not messing up our primary scene. And over in here, it's important that we update the character spawning, the object that it references, because it was referencing the old Kyle base, right? And we created a new male base. So we want to go ahead and update that for the male. Now we did that in the game, but we also need to do that in our other scenes. So save this scene. Now the character spawner here is also going to reference our new male. And our female scene is also going to reference the new male. It's less important for the female scene, but we want to just be consistent and make sure that we have all new references instead of any old ones. You notice the gender scene won't actually have any spawners because all it's doing is transitions and things behind the scene. Alright, so back over in the game scene, we're going to go and we're going to try to play. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to customize. We're going to select male. And now, we can go and add a head. This is our new survival head. We can add the hat. Take a little closer look at the character. Just going to circle around and so you can see it here. So there's the character, and you can see the character's animating because we use the default animator. Now we're adding the body. Now we can go and discover all these outfits and all that stuff. And there, now we're putting the shirt on, taking it off. Invest and shirt. Pants, legs. And now we've added every single piece of outfit that we've configured. Now let's hit save. Now let's hit done. And just like that, we have the character. Now this is in your game scene, and you can connect it with different character controllers and all that kind of stuff. Again, we can go back and customize. We decide we want to take the hat off, hit save, hit done. Boom. Now, of course, if we stop the game and we start the game again, all these changes are persisting. There we go. All right, adding the hat back on, save, done, stop the game, start the game, and the hat's there. Now let's take a moment and see the greater power of character customization. So one other thing we can do is we can not only make runtime changes to one of these existing variants, but as you've seen with the full nude combining with variant 5, they're interchangeable. To illustrate this even more, we're going to look at another variant, like for example, what other options here do we have? Sure. Variant 6. Now variant 6, I made a new scene. I'm going to drag variant 6 in. We're going to go and unpack it completely. Now variant 6 has a shirt. And this shirt is different from any existing shirt that we had with variant 5. So again, we're going to remove the animator. We're going to remove everything that isn't this shirt. This is if you want to make an individual piece. You can also just drag it in at that point, but so right now it's called jacket. Okay, here we go. So we found it. We're going to delete all of this stuff. Now you could split out the whole thing like I demonstrated before, or we can just make the one piece that we need with this. Again, character customization, prefab generator, specify the full, specify the root, it's a male, and we're going to generate pieces. It's just going to make the one piece for us, which is this jacket. Right? So now we have the art for the jacket. Again, what we got to do, we got to go back into the models, and we got to create a model for this. So we're going to go create, scriptable object, outfit scriptable object. We're going to call this jacket. For the icon, we can specify something from Kyle, any image. I believe category 2 was what I had configured. Let me double check for the shirts. Yes. And we had to name this. Let's name it outfit. Just for consistency. For arms 03. Sorry, not 4. We'll call it 8. Arms 03. So we have arms, and we need to give it the outfit piece, and the outfit piece is going to be the jacket that we just created. There we go. Just make sure that's correct. There's the jacket. All right, now we should have this other piece. So again, this was just a random scene. We don't need to save it. And also, again, keep in mind that over in the character matrices for the male, you'll see pieces getting added, like the jacket just got added, right? Now let's hit play. Customize shirt. Now we can take off these shirts and we can put on this shirt. See how this shirt is the jacket, the new one that didn't exist? This one's like a short sleeve, this one's a long sleeve. Now what you'll notice is what happens when I put them both on at the same time. Well, it could look a little odd with certain kinds of clothing because some of them will clip. In fact, this one you can see is clipping. And so what this means is Survival M shirt and jacket shouldn't be on at the same time. It should be one or the other. Unlike the vest, which nicely fits for both. So we're going to stop this for a moment. We're going to go into the character matrix. We're going to find the jacket, and we're going to find the shirt. And we're going to check this off, meaning that they collide. Now we're going to close the matrix. Next, we're going to hit play. Now, we'll see the power of the collision. If we go into the shirt, and we decide, well, let's take off the vest for just visibility. Now, what you see is when you put on the jacket, it automatically removed the shirt. When you put on the shirt, it automatically removed the jacket. But the vest, that'll stay because it's not colliding. And this is really cool. Now, one other thing we might want to do is, for example, make it so that we can't remove the body. You see how we can remove the body right now, and then we have invisible things, which we don't want. So again, what we can do here is we can go over into our categories and find our body category, and we can set a default scriptable object for the body, for the category. And if we set the body scriptable object, what that means is if nothing is equipped, this must be equipped. Let's illustrate how that looks. Again, we hit play. Now we hit customize. When we go to body, we can't remove the body because there is no other alternative for us to put on. So these are just some of the things that you can do to have a more realistic experience for your players when they're interacting with this. Save done. In the same way that we set up this male character, we can set up the female character or different characters as long as they have compatible skeletons. I hope you found this tutorial useful. For more information, please check out the other tutorials on the channel as well as the documentation that goes into all the details of the implementation. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed character customization.